Good morning, everybody. It is Sunday, the 12th of April, and it is also Incredible Chocolate Egg Consumption Day. So happy Incredible Chocolate Egg Consumption Day to all of you. In 1955, Joseph Salk's polio vaccine and was announced safe and effective by the US Food and Drug Administration. It wasn't the first or the last polio vaccine, but it was the first one to receive widespread use and go a great way towards stamping out that unpleasant disease. In 1961, Russian cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin became the first human to orbit the Earth in Vostok 1 space capsule. In 1976, Anne Rice's debut novel, Interview with the Vampire, was published by Knopf, and all of our fates were pretty much sealed for the next 30 years. And in 1992, Euro Disney opened for the first time in Marne-la-Vallée, France. In the event that it's your birthday today, you share it with Jeremy Beadle, Shannon Doherty, Nicholas Brendan, who despite playing high schooler Xander in Buffy is actually a year older than I am, and Brendan Urie from Panic at the Disco. It is International Day of Human Spaceflight, commemorating the aforementioned orbit of the Earth by Yuri Gagarin in Vostok 1. It is also Easter. Happy Easter for those of you who celebrate it. I think we're also about halfway through Passover as well. And it's also Bobunk, a completely fictional holiday, which was made up by myself and some of my friends when we used to go live role-playing at Easters. I'm going to talk about that for a little bit, actually. Some 25, 26 years ago, we started a tradition of going to fields and scout camps and spending the entire Easter bank holiday under canvas or later sleeping in a repurposed toilet block with a Scotsman. My very first Easter live role-playing bank holiday, however, I spent the very first night of that sleeping on a pallet under a tarpaulin under an inch of snow because I was young and very stupid and had not yet learned the dangers of binge drinking. But the fest system I think that sticks with me the most is the one where we celebrated Bobunk every year over Easter holidays. It gave us an excuse to give each other chocolate eggs in a field without feeling out of character, and we thought we were very edgy and clever and games designy. Bobunk itself was a festival whose name was inspired by a black cat from the teenage Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Salem. That cat's a bastard, as he was often referred to. And it involved us giving tissue paper flowers to people randomly in the field and asking them meaningful philosophical questions largely inspired by Fight Club. It was excellent. And there was a fair amount of fest larping after that, up until a disastrous event a few years ago, which we do not talk about, which has meant that I've spent the last 2 or 3 Easter bank holiday weekends not in a field. This is one of the first Easter bank holiday weekends that I'll be spending with Sam's family, which is nice in as much as we can with social distancing. But when Darren reminded me about Bobunk yesterday, it made me quite thoughtful and moody, and I stared out of a window while listening to Journey for a few minutes and then stopped. Omega, way back when we used to spend our Easters giving out tissue paper flowers to people, was a great time I spent with some of my now oldest and bestest friends. And it's also a place where I met or got to know a bunch of my current newer oldest and bestest friends. And it led on directly by a terrible, unavoidable skein of fate to Maelstrom, where I made a load more of my oldest and bestest friends. And then ultimately to Empire, where I continued to make oldest and bestest friends. And I miss it a little. A fortnight from now, we would be running the first event of our 8th year of Empire, but obviously we've cancelled that. And it makes me a little bit sad, in as much as I can feel human emotions. But I guess when I do finally see a bunch of people in a field again, whenever that is, it'll be like I'm meeting them all again for the first time, and it would probably get deeply emotional. I may even go so far as to give a sort of sup nod to them. But we'll all know it really means sup. Anyway, I apologise for that long ramble. I'm just thinking a little bit about friends and family at the moment. and how interchangeable they easily become. Remember to take your medications or set any notifications you may have. Look after yourselves and each other, and hopefully the risen Jesus will see his shadow today, thus ushering in 30 days of excellent weather, or whatever it is that is actually going on when you get past all the chocolate eggs and bunny rabbits and flower hats. Oh, I'm also celebrating Easter by being in the garden in shorts for the first time in about 7 or 8 months, but I'm not going to show you that because nobody needs to see it. Anyway, bye!